Do you think the Beast of Blattenborough likes tuna?
Yes.
Welcome to Probably Real, a podcast where we talk about our favorite conspiracy theories and cryptids.
My name's Aislinn J.
And my name's Trinity Amethyst.
Welcome to our fellow believers.
And welcome to our fellow skeptics.
So,
You're in a car today.
I'm in a car in Utah, several hours away from my home.
Many hours away, yes.
We've had quite the tussle trying to connect me to the Wi-Fi.
And even once we got there, now you guys are going to be able to hear birds chirping and cars passing.
I think we're okay. We're pretty good. I'm locked inside this airtight car, high-tech. It's a GMC.
Perfect.
So,
I'm going first, huh?
yeah.
Oh god, okay. So our cryptid today is, I'm actually really sort of in love with this one, even though it's pretty simple. It's called the Beast of Blattenborough, and this is a cryptid from Blattenborough, North Carolina, and it was mainly supposed to be around in 1953 to 1954. So this is an old boy.
Okay.
It was responsible for a string of animal deaths that occurred in the winter, and all of these animal deaths are the reason why this cryptid exist, because people were trying to explain what the heck happened to all these animals.
Okay. They're like, something's gotta be killing all these little critters.
Yep. Oh, they're not little critters. Yikes.
Oh my gosh, did it kill like a moose?
No, not a moose. No. They're not quite that big. It killed mostly dogs.
Oh, okay. I was like, I immediately started
moose.
picturing like them finding dead bears and like mooses and mountain lions, and I was like, I already believe it.
You're like, I'm in. Cards on the table.
All in.
Firstly, on December 31st, 1953, a Blattenborough man named Johnny Voss found his 2 dogs dead.
Aww.
Yeah, a lot of this is sad, but they had been, quote, torn to ribbons and crushed. So whatever got to it, got to them hard.
Ew, no.
So, yeah, it's pretty wild. The very next day, on January 1st, another 2 dogs were found dead at a farm, and witnesses described one of the dogs as sort of eaten up. I don't know how something can be sort of eaten up, and that terrifies me. January 2nd, another farmer's dog was found dead. January 3rd, another 2 dogs were killed, and one of them was autopsied. And according to the police chief, the dog was mostly drained of blood. Chupacabra.
Oh my goodness.
So on the 5th, a pet rabbit was found, quote, cleanly decapitated, and on the 7th, another dog was found dead in a pasture. The last attack connected to the Beast of Blattenborough is a goat that was found near a gas station, and it was described as sort of crushed.
What?
Yeah.
They're all not sure. Okay, before we continue, this sounds like some psychopathic. Is that the word?
Psychopath?
Yeah, psychopathic behavior, just like, what? It reminds me of, like, serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just so constant, and like, ooh, that's gross.
Yeah, it's weird. But the thing is, if it was just all this stuff, because the way these animals were I'm omitting a lot of information when it comes to what happened to some of these animals, just for the sake of literally everyone, but they just were wrecked. And so it's if it wasn't for the fact that people saw their animals being attacked and they saw what attacked them, I would say it was a person, because it's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
But,
twist.
Like I said, people saw something attacking their animals. It wasn't just all these animals are dead.
Lemon lime twist.
Yes.
Shoot. I'm so excited.
So, since it was their pets, this thing had to crawl into their yard and stuff. So a lot of people were there when it happened.
Yeah.
So a man named Malcolm Frank said he saw the creature crossing a street, and he described it as about 4.5 feet long, bushy, and resembling either a bear or a panther. Another man named Carl Pate reported seeing it, saying it was small, and a little one just like it was running beside it, so saying it was having a kid. Which also makes sense, because later on some hunters were, people were trying to kill this thing. They sent out a group of hunters, and the hunters found tracks that were huge, And according to the pattern, the hunters were like, okay, this thing either has a mate or a child in the area. So those two things correlate and
Oh my goodness.
So, a man named James Pittman said that around 11 p.m. on January 3rd, he heard an odd noise outside, like a baby crying, and when he followed it, he just saw something heavy moving through the bushes, and he just kind of booked it, understandably.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah, I mean, imagine, like, you're in your house at 11 p.m., and you hear a baby crying outside, and you're like, oh, I gotta go see what's up with the baby, and you go out there, and there's just, like, something massive just crawling through the bushes outside your house. And be like, goodbye.
I just got chills so bad. You know, when you feel the hair stick up on your neck? Oh, and I hate babies crying. Babies crying? No, thank you.
No.
Okay, this sounds awful, but like, I'm such a scaredy cat, and we talk too much about people getting like freaking attacked after they hear babies crying and stuff, and I feel like I just call the cops, like, instead of go...
On a baby crying?
Yes!
911, I hear a baby crying.
No, like, I'm scared. I don't know where it is. It's dark outside. Like, I'm not gonna go out there. I don't... No, thank you.
It's dark outside. Quote Aislinn.
It's dark outside. I can't.
It's dark outside. I cannot. Thank you.
The darkness is my kryptonite.
Wow.
I'm afraid. The sun is going down right now, and I'm so nervous.
Oh, yeah, you're outside, huh?
I'm out here in the car. Yeah. It's unlocked. I'm not gonna lock myself in here. Because then I can't escape if something's already in the car.
Aislinn, shh. Do you hear that? Do you hear the baby crying?
Stop! No. Okay.
So, the next day after this guy hears the baby crying and stuff, Lloyd Clemens said he saw it trying to go after his dogs, the creature. He described it as 20 inches high, having a long tail, and dark colored, with the face of a cat, but he said he'd never seen a cat that big. He actually said, I ain't ever seen a cat that big, but...
I ain't ever seen a cat that big. Bless his heart.
Bless his whole soul. Apparently he went out with a shotgun afterwards to go chase it down, and then it ran off. So... doesn't like shotguns.
I'm afraid of shotguns myself. I'm afraid of everything.
You're afraid of literally everything under the sun. On January 6th, a couple days later, a young boy named Dalton Norton, why is that such a cute name, reported seeing, quote, a big cat, and that according to him, it made a noise like a baby crying.
You're joking. That's disgusting. I hate it. I seriously hate that. Oh my gosh. I'm so nervous right now.
Watch out, Aislinn.
This is no good. I'm so afraid.
Utah's closer to North Carolina than California is.
Stop! This entire podcast is just gonna be me nervously looking around the car.
I want video of that. Okay. So, on a lighter note, some explanations for what it could be besides a terrible baby noise monster. One of the explanations is it could be a coyote.
Okay.
Yeah, though most of the people who described it as a cat, so... But people who saw the footprints said they were more dog-like, so... it could have been a coyote, but coyotes are pretty small. Like, I've seen coyotes. They're tiny. They're not that big.
Unless if it was like a freaking genetically modified
Basker Hound
cross
sort
between
of situation.
a freaking panther and a coyote.
Yeah, because coyotes in Southern California, coyotes are all over the place, and they can kill small dogs, but like not that well.
Okay, so hear me out.
And they can't kill goats.
Hear me out.
What?
You have this big old monster, right? And he's like a panther.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they are, or are they leopards? They're panthers, right?
Panthers.
Panther. And he's just a huge old guy. And his best friend is a coyote.
Aislinn. Where is this going?
So, the little footprints
of
the
I see.
coyote.
Okay, this isn't at all where I thought it was going. Okay.
Where did you think I was going? Oh, that bird was huge.
Aislinn getting distracted by the wildlife.
I swear on my life, I just saw the biggest bird I think I've ever seen.
It's a new cryptid.
Anyway.
What were you saying, Aislinn?
The coyote and the panther are best friends, so they're just going out, killing some animals, having the time of their lives, you know? They're in their angsty teen years, and
Lovely.
they just got so much emotion that they gotta kill something.
Oh, of course. You know, everybody deals with that.
Those angsty teen years, when you're just itching to kill things.
So, some other explanations are, one, that it's a panther, but panthers are nowhere near that area whatsoever. So if there's a panther there, I'd be concerned for a whole new reason.
I was so happy. I had a
so
slight
happy,
moment
why?
of relief, and it's all
When you
down
thought it
the
was
drain.
a panther?
Yeah.
You're welcome. So, the last couple theories are it's just a bigger dog, I don't know, or a wolf,
Okay.
or a mountain lion.
Okay.
So I don't think mountain lions live in that area, but I think out of all of the possible animals it could be, I think a mountain lion's probably the most probable, in my opinion. Because mountain lions are big cats, and they do like to kill dogs. And they are very well known for crawling into people's yards. And I'm pretty sure if you'd never seen a mountain lion before in your life, and one was suddenly in your yard, you'd flip.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like
I'm
seeing
sure
a
your
small
brain
tiger.
starts racing at that point.
Especially since all of these, for the most part, were at night. So, of course, it would look dark. So you just see a dark, giant cat. You know, whoa.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. No thanks. So that's the end of those explanations. What do you think, Ace?
I think I'm scared.
You're kind of scared?
Yeah. Well, okay. Something's weird, but I'm pretty sure it's just a mountain lion. Like, I've convinced myself at this point that it's a mountain lion.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's odd is the baby crying noises.
Yeah. And the one drained of blood. And that rabbit's head just like, you know.
Well, I mean, rabbits are tiny and mountain lions have big mouths, so... Crunch.
Yeah. But like some of the animals being crushed is weird, I think.
Yeah.
So I'd like to believe
that it's just a mountain lion?
I'd like to believe it's just a mountain lion, but I have a feeling it's not, if I'm honest. Deep down in my soul...
This is sort of like a Wendigo situation for you, huh?
Yeah, deep down in my soul, I'm like, well...
Well, whatever it is, it was in 1953, so hopefully it's long dead.
Alright.
This episode is cursed.
It sure is. So, we've had an unfortunate event.
Yeah, we had a very unfortunate event.
Yeah, we recorded one of the best episodes that we've ever had. That I felt like it was so good, because...
You can't explain it.
Yeah, but it's been contaminated. It's gone.
It's dead.
It's dead. But today I bring to you one of my most favorite conspiracy theories. It's near and dear to my heart.
It's a fresh new one.
I've been thinking about it for like days now, and I was like, man, I gotta do this conspiracy because I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Now, today we're talking about parallel universes.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
So we're
That's
talking about
fun.
parallel universes, multi-universes, and I'm a big fan of them. Now, Stranger Things had this extra series. It was kind of what would you call it? An interview series called Beyond Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And I was watching it because I love Stranger Things, and Bill Nye was on one of them, and he was explaining multiverses. And I was super excited because I love Bill Nye so freaking much, and multiverses are amazing. So, he said that sometimes that there's a theory that extra bubbles of universe... Okay, sorry. I need to restart.
Take 3.
We have an idea that there may have been a Big Bang, right? So, that is our universe that is now ever expanding, right? Right. So, bubbles of universe are also expanding. There's the possibility that some of the expanding universes collide or expand at the same time, overlapping, if you will. And a universe is theorized as existing alongside our own, although undetectable. That's what a parallel universe is. Now, this theory is about how sometimes we cross into other parallel universes without even knowing it.
So, like what is it called?
It doesn't really have a name. I'd call it the parallel universe theory. Are you thinking of the Mandela effect? Because that's my next point.
Yeah, yes, like the Mandela effect.
Yes, exactly, the Mandela effect. So, Do you remember the Berenstein bears?
That's literally what I googled to
Or
try
now
to find
they're remembered
out.
the Berenstain bears. Blah blah. Right? Craziest freaking thing. Yeah, of course I remember it as the Berenstein Bears because that's what it is and that's what it always will be in my heart. And we call it the Mandela effect because Nelson Mandela was believed to have died in prison when he actually died outside of prison. And people remember, like, on the news being told that Nelson Mandela had died in prison. So that's what they thought. And then they'd find out later that in fact, he didn't die in prison because he was released from prison a few years later. So since then, there's been additional things added onto that called the Mandela effect. And this theory kind of introduces the idea that we have parallel universes next to us that are so similar that there's only one or two variables that have been changed.
Mm-hmm.
So very little, like 3, we probably haven't noticed all of them, so I'd say under 10 variables of how many things have been changed when we cross over into another universe. Or you could call them a dimension, if you will. Now, I like to think of it as pages in a book, right? And if every single page had the entire history of the universe written in it.
Typos.
You just change one letter on every single page. We could be living on page 3 and then on page freaking 300 there could be robots taking over the world.
Yeah.
It increasingly is changed and I just love it so much. So, crossing into different parallel universes sounds like it would be extremely difficult. Like we'd need the energy of a black hole or something to take us into it.
It's convenient that there's black holes, then.
Yeah, but
in that case.
I don't think we need that amount of energy. I think that we're just, the parallel dimensions are so close to each other that they just kind of morph into one. And we come in peace as one.
Now, the interesting thing there, though, is what would happen to the people in the parallel dimension, then, in the other one. So if we're going into theirs, do they come into ours? Are they gone? Do we, like, assume their consciousness? What?
I know. I've been thinking about this a lot, and this is why I wanted to talk about it on our podcast, to kind of come to a little bit of a conclusion to this spectacle. Is that the word that I should use?
Probably not.
But I like it.
It works.
Spectacle is not the right word for that. But
go for it.
It sounds nice. I like to use words that sound smart, even though they don't actually make sense. You can quote me on that. That one belongs on a t-shirt. First, what do you think, and can I convince you to believe in this, or are you already on board?
For me, my thing is I'm the sort of person that believes any change in anything has a massive effect on the universe.
Like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. The butterfly effect. So I don't think that I think, you say the parallel universes would only have a small number of changes if they're close. My thing is it's like, well, those small number of changes would have phenomenal effects in the world. Like the Berenstein Bears, it's like people, that's their childhood, So even if it was spelled differently, it could potentially have a numerous number of effects on the world. So I think, I don't know. I don't think I could get too on board with the parallel universes being entirely close to each other, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I see you. Yeah, I get it.
That's where I'm at, but you can do your work.
No,
Try
that's
to get me on board.
Okay, I just have 2 other little theories that I want to throw out there about kind of the Mandela effect and parallel universes. So, time travel.
Oh, we're just putting that on the table, huh?
Yeah, time travel. So a lot of people believe that the reason the Mandela effect is a thing is because there was time travelers who would go and they'd end up changing something on accident.
Isn't that the one rule? That they're not supposed to change things?
Yeah, exactly, but then they just mess up.
They broke the one rule.
Yeah, pretty much. So they cause a little bit of a butterfly effect. And, like the Mandela effect wouldn't even exist unless if something was changed. But I don't believe in time travelers. I think that's ridiculous that they would change something.
I think it would be, if time travel did exist, I feel like it would immediately be illegal. Because... There's no way that people could time travel responsibly. Your presence immediately is a change in the time flow continuum. Pardon my really nerdy language. But, like, you could not.
I think the only thing that the government would allow people to time travel for is the apocalypse. They'd ask people to try and stop the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Or the end of the world.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe, ooh, Aislinn. Okay, so you know how I was saying that, like, I think even changing the spelling of a children's story, you know, how I think that would have a massive effect on the world? What if that was the time traveler's way of saving the world? Maybe
what
if
a
it was
funny way to
Berenstein
change the world.
Bears, what if it was spelt the way that everybody think it was, the world would end, but if it was spelt differently, then the world doesn't end.
Yeah, I think either way it's had a massive effect already. Almost every, like, teenager, at least I've talked to, knows about the Mandela effect.
Oh, and
so many people know about the Mandela effect.
Only because of the Berenstein Bears, for the most part, too.
Yeah, and there's other ones, so it's funny. They don't even know that the Mandela effect is about Nelson Mandela. They just know that it's about the Berenstein Bears. No, it's Berenstein! Quote from literally every teenage child. It's the Berenstein Bears.
It just looks better with an E.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It does. I think it's just because, like, stain is such an ugly word.
It has a bad connotation.
Because stain, like, if you got a stain in your shirt, like, that sucks, you know? And stain is just gross. Stains, it's like when people say moist.
Ugh.
I know. I don't hate that word. A lot of people hate that word, though.
I think it's just a word, but with ugh.
But with, like, feeling.
That's perfect. Yeah.
It's like a word,
feeling.
But with feeling. So, do you know what confabulation is?
Nope.
It's a fancy word.
It sounds made up.
I know. Because, you know, that's funny that you say that, because it's your mind's way of making something up.
That is so ironic. Wow.
So, this is, like, my dad taught me this psychology term because he's a psychology teacher. But this is kind of my own addition to the theory, confabulation, because it could be the influence of others or your own brain trying to make sense of something that causes you to believe something that isn't true. Because, you know, you can't remember everything, and your mind tries to fill in these spaces, so you just remember things incorrectly or not well.
And especially with the influence of other people. And, you know, it's interesting that you say there's only a few times we've observed the Mandela effect, because that would make perfect sense. Because, I mean, this confabulation... Now I know the word, thank you.
Welcome.
Happens all the time in the brain, because your brain's constantly messing the heck up.
Yeah,
but
it's always trying to
fill in gaps, but...
If anyone hears this and cringes at my vocabulary and, like, thinks that I'm wrong or something, I'd like to apologize now. But anyway.
Probably for the best. But it makes sense that there's only a few cases of the Mandela effect being observed, because those are the only times that it, like, happens on a massive scale.
Exactly.
It just happened. Like, things could have potentially just worked out just perfectly so that a ton of people think that it's spelt this way, or that they could have swore this guy died in prison, you know, when really it was just like, they just remembered it wrong.
Especially with media now. Like, I'm sure that there's so many other things that people in the past were like, oh, I remembered this so differently. Like, like, that's wacky, and then they would move on with their lives. But now with social media, we're the most photographed generation.
To be fair, though, I feel like we're going to have less of the Mandela effect in the future, in that case, though, because with us, we can look it up and be like, oh, it's Berenstein. What? But, like, back then it was just, like, word of mouth, you know? I'm pretty sure it was Berenstein. Berenstein? Yeah, I think it was Berenstein. You know, like, that was...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that was it, you know?
Yeah, we might actually notice things more because we do have the internet to research things. That's funny.
Not that that's what most of us use it for at this point.
Yeah, we...
Womp womp.
We just love our memes.
Or in our case, our conspiracy theories and cryptids.
Yep. We sure do. We sure love these little conspiracy theories and cryptids. And now, I really want to convert you into believing in this theory because I love it. So, this is kind of... It's hard to explain, and I wish that I could just give you all my belief, because that would make everything so much easier.
Sorry, Ace.
Here's a little bit... So, we get the scientific point of view from Bill Nye,
The science guy.
He's a real he's a real scientist, and I wish people knew that. He's not just an actor. Anyway, I'm a little salty about that because
You're
everyone
a bit
doesn't...
defensive on Bill Nye.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bill Nye's your guy?
Yeah, he's my guy. He's like my hero from 4th grade. He saved me from all the times I hated class. Anyway, we have a little bit of a scientific point of view, and now I'm going to give you a little bit of a mathematic point of view because everything is math. Math is everything. Science is everything. Math is a lot. So
science I can wrap my head around, but numbers always get me.
It's okay. This isn't too hard because you know what imaginary numbers are.
Unfortunately.
And we use imaginary numbers because we can't comprehend all the possibilities of an equation. And this gives us proof that there's so many different possible outcomes to situations and to just equations that we can't even process it at this point. So I think we're going to have to wait until we have computers or robots capable of understanding this until we can actually figure out whether or not there's parallel universes. But I like to believe that it's a little bit of proof that there is a possibility of ever-expanding millions upon trillions infinite universes, just always expanding, always there. Just 0.000 and on until forever. One, like, what would you call it? A space unit apart?
A space unit.
It's literally... the difference in
what do you think, Aislinn? What do you think? They're just laying on top, like, in space?
No, I mean, they're, like, ever-expanding at the same time, but, like...
But you said a space unit, like they're, like our universes are all cuddling.
Kind of.
I think it would have to be on a completely different realm than our brain is able to comprehend.
Yeah, we literally can't comprehend it, but how I imagine it, so I told you my little book thing, like, pages right next to each other, but it's more like, you know, not even a millisecond apart, like so close to each other, there's just an infinite amount of universes being created over and over and over again. So after the first universe was created, immediately after, and I mean immediately, there's just another one and another and another and another, ever expanding. And I think it's mind-boggling. It's crazy, but that's how I think of it. And I think, ever-expanding parallel universes. I'm very passionate about it, if you couldn't tell.
No, not at all. Thank you for joining us on our podcast today. We hope you enjoyed yourself, or at least learned something new. So we've got sad news.
Sad. Well, I feel like we'll be able to do so much better.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But, so it feels like sad news, but it's a good thing.
In the end. For now. And it's only temporary. We're going to be switching to releasing an episode every 2 weeks because Ace and I are going to college and work and all that jazz.
I like how we act like so many people listen to us that we have to apologize and stuff.
I know.
Like,
sorry we're disappointing the 2 people.
The 2 people who constantly listen to our episodes. It's okay.
It's more than 2.
Yeah. We love everyone who listens to us continually, and we appreciate you so much.
We do.
But we're switching to every 2 weeks.
Yeah, to make it's a lot easier for us to make episodes and actually not rush them and...
Yeah, and then they'll be so much better.
They'll be better, and I won't be crying.
I had more time to prepare for this one, and it feels better.
If you'd like to get a conspiracy theory or a cryptid on the show, you can email us at probablyrealpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love a review. We love them so much, and it helps us get more out there. We want people to hear us because we think we're hilarious.
Aislinn thinks we're hilarious.
I think we're hilarious.
Yeah.
Our Twitter is Probably Real Podcast.
Prob Real Podcast. There we go. You can send us conspiracy theories and cryptids there as well.
Huge old thanks to Elise.
As always, for making our beautiful theme music, I Die. You can find her stuff at HeyElise516 on her Twitter or at her SoundCloud at Elise Haywood. She just released a new song called Sad Boy, and it's really good.
Oh, and it's so beautiful.
It's a pretty song. Please I cried the first time I heard it, actually. Like a baby.
I cried the first 3 times I heard it.
Wow. Good job, Aislinn.
I over-cried you.
Wow. I didn't know it was a competition.
Okay, and remember...
The Beast of Blattenborough is a terrible baby monster.
And I can't believe it's not Berenstein.
Good night!
Good night!